Awesome. Cool. So I'm going to go over again. Welcome to the 2024 travel volleyball season. It's so hard to believe. I know that I've been talking to Courtney a lot and hearing a lot of great things about the high school and middle school seasons that are going on. We're having a pretty awesome season at Mary Washington as well this year. So it's just great to hear that volleyball is going so well in the Fredericksburg area. So again, welcome to our information session here. We thought it was really important, again, to get in front of everyone. We have about 200 people right now on the Zoom, which is pretty awesome to hear, and coincides with a little bit of where we are with our tryout signups and everything too. I think coming into today, we have over 300 players signed up to try out this year at 540, which is super exciting. A couple of quick rules, just please. You can just make sure if you have your camera on, just make sure that you are aware that the camera is on. Again, just please stay on mute at all times. The best way to communicate with us is to direct message me with a question, and I will answer them at the end of the session here, so to speak. So we do have a bunch of information that we're going to go over and we're going to cover. Hopefully it answers a lot of the questions. What we just ask simply is that you let us go through all of the information first, so that way at the end we have time for questions, rather than interrupting throughout, so to speak. So again, the way that we ask that you communicate and ask questions is just through the chat. You should only be able to message me directly. I will read the question out loud to everyone, and then I will answer it at the end. So again, just please wait until the end. Again, just the introductions here real quick to just let you know who we do have on the Zoom session right now. Again, Alex Hinsey, the Director of Operations. I oversee pretty much everything that goes on in the club, not just juniors travel, but all of the other programming, making sure that the facility is up to par on where we want it to be, and all of that good stuff. Also on the Zoom, we have Nicole Candelora. She is our juniors travel director. And then we also have Courtney Hempy, who we've reassigned a new title for this year. She's our juniors travel assistant. So between the two of them, they will oversee pretty much all of the operations for our junior travel. That doesn't mean I'm not involved. It just means that a lot of it will come from them first. And a lot of times I will defer to them on what they think is best for the direction of the travel programs that we offer. We do have a full list of other staff members online. You can check it out on our 540 website. You can see everyone there, as well as we have over 50 plus coaches ready to go for this 2024 travel season. If you do know anyone else that might be interested in coaching, we're always looking to add coaches. We can always educate and help train coaches as well. Just have them reach out to us if they are interested. Awesome. So the next thing that we just have, I just want to just talk a little bit briefly about the 2023 travel season this past year. First off, I want to say thank you to all of the families that were a part of our first season here at 540. We accomplished a lot of what we wanted to accomplish in the first travel season. We got very big very quickly, as we expected. But again, we accomplished a lot of what we wanted to see, and we learned a lot from last year on how we can improve and make the experience better for all of your kids that play with 540. And that's something that's super important to us as a staff, is making sure that we continue to offer the best possible experience for all of the kids that play at 540, regardless of what team they're on or what age group. Again, a couple of things that I just wanted to highlight. We had 31 girls juniors travel teams last year, which made us the largest girls juniors travel program in Virginia. So we were the largest girls juniors volleyball program in Virginia. And then the other big thing I want to highlight is that we did have our first boys team this past year as well. And as we move forward, you'll hear me talk a little bit about how we want to continue to grow the boys game here in the Fredericksburg area as well. We made a lot of facility improvements. So if you were with CORE before, or had ever been in the facility before, you knew what it was like before. We're continuing to invest a lot of money into the space to continue to see it grow. And again, make it a great space for all of the players that play there. So again, just something that's super important to us. Just transitioning to the 2024 travel season, and realistically my vision for the club and the direction that I'm hoping to see the club go in as we kind of move forward. My number one priority is and always will be to do everything we can to offer a positive experience for every player in the juniors travel program. At the end of the day, I promise you all that when Nicole, Courtney, and I talk, and when we talk to our coaches, the end result that we want for everyone is just a fun, positive experience. And we are really trying to do what we think is best at the end of the day to make it a fun, positive experience. And that's always our number one driving factor. We want to continue to offer every player an opportunity to play travel volleyball. That's something that we're very committed to. Like, we never want a player to not be able to play. That is why we offer as many teams as we do. There's no other reason other than that. We just want to make sure that every player that wants to play travel volleyball has that opportunity. So that's why we preset the number of teams that we think we might have. But if it grows a little bit more, then that's the direction that we will go. And we will talk a little bit about our local teams here shortly, and the idea behind it and the coaching philosophy behind those teams that we might not be able to have a full-time dedicated coach to all the time at those local teams, and the idea behind what we plan on doing as we move forward. Another big thing I just want to talk a little bit about is our commitment to make our facility better as we kind of move forward. So just give you an idea of some of the things that are on the forefront of our minds as we kind of move forward here. We're going to continue to put more branded signage inside the gym. If you're familiar with the gym, on the backside of court 4, what we want to do, and we've already gotten the quote and stuff before, we'll have it up probably before the start of the 24 season. We're going to put up a list of names of everyone that played travel volleyball at 540 in 2023. We're going to do the same in 2024, and each year as we move forward on those back panels, we're going to just add every player's name, so give them a sense of pride when they come in the gym, and when they play at 540. We are going to be putting in a weight room in the weight room. So you'll see us clearing that out here very soon, to make space for what will be a full varsity weight room, so to speak, from that standpoint, with lifting racks and kettlebells, everything you can imagine. We're going to get some Vertimax in there and stuff like that. So, and we believe that's something that we can offer that a lot of other clubs don't offer on site, kind of as we move forward, so to speak. We're going to build some cubbies inside the gym for the players to store their backpacks. So since they're going to get displaced from the weight room, we're going to finish doing the upper walls there in the gym too, where it doesn't look as nice, so to speak. And then the other big thing that we're going to try and look to do down the road is put in some bleachers for parents to sit, maybe some scoreboards and stuff like that. And really just make sure, again, that it's just a good, fun, positive space. Ooh, and the lobby, we're going to redo the lobby here very soon as well. So again, that's some of the ideas. Other things you might notice throughout the club, we have hired a cleaning service. So they're coming through every Monday, doing a great job. So for the past 2 months, it's been super clean in there, which is absolutely great. And then again, some of the other focuses or vision for the club as we move forward, just continuing to offer year-round programming, finding ways that we can bring other college coaches into our gym. And we have a lot of different ideas that you may see us introduce throughout this year. We also had our first college prep camp this past summer, where we brought in a lot of college coaches, had a lot of positive feedback from that. And that's something that we're going to continue to look to grow every summer as well. Another big thing is increasing the competitiveness of our elite level teams, and really honing in on the focus of those teams specifically, and having a dedicated plan for coaching education within the club as well, to again help develop all of our coaches. And you'll hear me, you'll see some things happening here in the Fredericksburg area in the next year that are pretty big for us.
I just got 1,000 poly mailers for 3 cents each.
Sorry, just muted them there. But as we transition here, I am going to pass this over to Courtney and Nicole to talk a little bit about the 24 travel volleyball tryouts, give you some step-by-step instructions and stuff like that, and what to expect as we kind of go through the trial process.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm going to talk to you guys about the travel tryout process, including the pre-tryout orientation. Starting with that, we're making that mandatory. This year, we've offered 2 dates that you can come to. That would be Sunday, October 1st from 4 to 6, and then the following Sunday, October 8th from 4 to 6. Really important that you guys make it out to this. There's a lot we're going to be doing at that, and I'll cover that in a second. But just note that this is a drop-in. You don't have to sign up. You can just come in at any time from 4 to 6. We expect you guys to be there for 20 to 30 minutes for the things that we need to collect. What you're going to do at that time is try on gear for the upcoming season. Make sure you know the sizes that you want when you order gear once you've been selected for a team. You will get your t-shirt for tryouts, and that is going to have their number on the back. So we're not doing pinned bib numbers this year. It's going to be on the back of their shirt, so they could just wear that same shirt to both days of tryouts. It makes it easier for us to see the numbers as well. And then we're going to do sizing for that based on the order that you check in. We're going to take photos of each player, and that helps us remember what everybody looks like when we make the teams after tryouts. And that will be done on a new app that we're doing this year. You will do jump testing, so make sure that you're wearing athletic shoes. And then this year, we're going to ask you to turn in paperwork up front. And this is all on the website. First thing we're going to ask is that you turn in the financial agreement. Second thing is the parent code of conduct. We need you to show proof that you have a USAV membership. And what's important to note there is that when you go and get that number, you can sign up for just the $10 one that doesn't affiliate with our club. So then if you do decide to play tryouts or play at 540, then you can get your full membership later on, but we're not asking for the full membership at this time, just the, then we're going to ask for 2 copies of your birth certificate and then that medical release form. Like I said, that's all on the website. Under travel at the top of the website, you'll see there's a travel document sign, and it's really well laid out on how to print out each of those documents. It's really important that you attend that pre-tryout orientation. It really allows us to handle the larger numbers of everybody trying out. Simply the day of tryouts, you'll just come and check in. We don't need anything from you. And we're able to do jump testing that day. So if you do just come in the day of tryouts or you're walk-in, we will not be offering jump testing at that time. But once you do make a team, we can definitely do that later on. And then also, if you don't come, we're not going to be able to guarantee that you get the t-shirt size that you selected. And then Nicole is going to take over the actual tryout process.
All right, hello everybody. So our tryouts are broke up the same way we did last year within 2 weekends. We did a little bit different than we did before. We used to do the whole process within 1 weekend. This year we decided to do all day ones 1 weekend and all day twos the next weekend. We had kids trying out for multiple age groups, and it made it difficult when we were selecting teams. So you pick the weekend that the time slot that works best for you. There are some time slots that's just one, but for 15s and 16s and 14s through 16s, there are 2 different time slots that you can pick from. You will be getting after weekend 2, you will be getting an email telling you what team you make through our Team Genius app that we're using. And then that will give you the directions on how to accept the team and then go in and make the deposit and everything. So after you're at the parent meeting now, you attend the pre-tryout orientation, and then the day of tryouts, please arrive no less than 15 minutes early. We have a short amount of time to get in each age group, and we want to make sure that we start right on time. Upon being placed on a team, you have 24 hours from the email notification to accept or decline that offer. We do reserve the right to have an additional day of tryouts for some regional teams if we feel that there was a lot of kids and we need a better placement for those. We're going to try our best to get everything done in those first 2 tryout days, but if not, it would be the October 29th that we would have that additional session, but we're hoping that we would have it done in the 2 days. You must pay a deposit by October 31st to reserve that spot on the team. You get a 5% discount if paid in full by October 31st. You can pay cash, check, or credit card. Remember, there's a fee when it comes to using a credit card. And if you're mailing the payment, make sure you include the suite number or it won't get to us. It'll get sent back to you.
What's the mailing address?
Well, I don't know it right off the top of my head, but it's on our website.
We'll answer all questions at the end of the session.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
my
so-
bad.
So I'm just going to go through what our team levels are. So we have the elite level. That's our top team. They have a slightly different schedule than our national team.
So what's the top team then?
Elite.
Friendly reminder to please use the chat for all questions. Thank you.
The top team is our elite team. However, our national team still travels a national schedule. They still travel, just not quite the same schedule as elite, but elite will be our top team. They practice 3 days a week, and they possibly will go through July, depending on if we go to USA Nationals or if we go to AAU Nationals. Our national level teams will also have the chance to go to USAV or AAU Nationals. So their schedule also could run that as far, just depending on if whoever gets a bid. We have to get a bid to go to USA V Nationals. This year, our regional teams consist of navy, blue, and gray. Navy, white, and gray. Navy, white, and gray. They go a regional level. They are Pennsylvania to North Carolina is where they travel from. They go to 6 tournaments and they practice 3 days a week, except for 12s and 13s practice twice a week. Now our new level that we've kind of switched it up this year, our Carolina teams, we're calling it more of a local team. They go to 4 tournaments, and we are approaching this as an academy style where they all practice together, and everybody practices together, and we go and we do skill stations together and different things where we're handling it with a bunch of different coaches to get those skills taught to those kids. Our coaching, we have a few open spots in our coaching lineup, but our coaching lineup is pretty. We have a head coach for every team that we had last year, so we have that ready to go. And we just have a few minor spots that we're still interviewing coaches now. And I think that's all I got.
Nice. The only other thing I'm going to quickly add on our local team. So the reason why we are choosing to go to this model is because we can utilize some of our higher level coaches within the organization to be able to coach those teams and to coach those players to get better coaching at some of our lower level teams, so to speak. So being able to get them in the gym a little bit more where they might not be able to commit fully to coaching a second team like that, they can at least commit to being there for some training sessions and stuff like that. And we can be more hands-on from that standpoint, so to speak. So awesome. Cool. I am going to talk a little bit about the travel team fees and payments. The pricing is on the website for the 2024 season. If you go down to the Q&A area at the bottom, it'll answer a lot of the reasons why there was an increase in price this year. I think this is the first time we've increased prices in, I think, 2 years now. So we didn't increase last year from that standpoint. But again, as everyone is very well aware, there are costs going up everywhere. And we unfortunately had to make that decision to increase our costs a little bit. And again, it'll outline a little bit of some of the things in there as to the reasons why. There is a pay in full option. Again, there's a 5% discount. Make sure when you accept after tryouts that you select that pay in full option when you register in league apps and when you select your team in league apps, and we will have more information fully detailing that. Otherwise it'll default to the payment plan option where it won't show the discount, and then we will have to go back and refund you. So to help you just pay the correct amount up front, just make sure you select the plan that you want, whether you want the payment plan or the pay in full option. The payment plan, I know I don't have up on the website yet the payment plans. I'll try and get that all on the website this week. But the payment plan is basically the number of the length of your season. So if your team ends in May, your first payment would be the deposit plus December through April payments. So you would not have a payment in May, and it would be divided up evenly from there. So if that is $2,500, for example, and there's 5 total payments that you need to make, it will be $500 per payment on the first of each month. Again, I will outline that all online. And when you register in league apps again for the correct team that your child is placed on, you'll be able to see that as well. Again, just reiterating, the best way to pay is by check or cash. The credit card processing fees are not our fees. We do not get that money. That money goes directly to league apps for utilizing their platform. However, if you pay by cash or check, there is no processing fee. I cannot go back and refund you for the processing fees after you have already paid them. So again, I cannot reiterate enough to pay by cash or check when you are able to do that. Awesome. The new this year, we have a financial agreement on the website, and you can read through it in full detail. It's not something that I ever wanted to go to with the club, but after last year, we learned a lot. And this is one of the things that we did learn, is that it is very important for us to have a financial agreement in place with the parents that are committing to play on a travel volleyball team. We are expecting you to understand the risks that come with playing juniors travel volleyball and committing to a team. Our costs, believe it or not, are some of the lowest in the state of Virginia for travel volleyball, especially at our higher level teams and with our regional teams. We are significantly cheaper in those regards. And the way that we can keep our prices down is by anticipating that the number of players that we budget to have on those teams pay the full amount. When we lose one player on those teams, we operate on very thin margins as is already. Then a lot of times we will take a loss on that team. And that is why we are moving to the direction of having a financial agreement there, and it outlines everything in there. So again, I just encourage you to read through it all and understand it all. And that is one of the documents you must bring to the pretrial orientation. The next thing, we are changing the state of play. Well, we are not changing the state of play policy, but we are changing our policy on how we are handling state of play this year. And this is very important for everyone to know and to understand. So if you are not aware what state of play is, all of these volleyball tournaments, or a large majority of these volleyball tournaments, require you to stay in their prefixed hotels that they have agreements with in order to compete in the tournament. If you do not meet the room requirement minimum, you cannot compete in these tournaments. They do not let you in. They will notify us and they will say, hey, 3 days before, your team can't come and participate. And it's a lot of work, and it's very hectic for us on the back end as a staff and as an administrative staff that is all part-time employees, to try and track down parents to book enough rooms to be able to meet those minimums. So this year, we are requiring that every player to participate in the event that weekend must book at least one room night. So again, to just make sure that we meet the requirements, typically most times it is 6 nights per day of competition. So if there are 3 days of competition and we need 6 nights for each night, so that would be 18 total room nights. So that is the best way. You can fully book your rooms within the state of play, and that is what we highly encourage all of you to do, but we will not allow anyone to compete without booking one room night. And again, that is in the financial agreement. I highlighted it in the financial agreement. So just so you understand, we do get a list of names prior to the event. We can always go in and check and see who hasn't. We can check and see who has dropped last minute. So we know it all from that back end. But in order to get into these tournaments and to be able to compete, it is unfortunately what we have to do. And we understand that you may be able to find rooms cheaper. You might be able to find rooms closer. You might be able to stay with friends, relatives, and stuff like that. We completely understand all of that, but you have to understand that that doesn't change. So if all 10 players on a team all book outside the room block, the team can't go. And there's no fair way for us to say, okay, only these 4 families need to do it, so to speak, from that standpoint. And this is a very similar rule that a lot of other clubs operate on. We are just choosing to move to it after experiencing everything we experienced last year. We will also notify you of what events are the state of play. We will send you the email with all of the hotel information. We also do our best to get the best rooms possible. Like I can tell you right now, when NEQ opens their rooms at 10 a.m. on December 15th, we will have 6 or 7 staff members on their computers trying to gobble up as many rooms as we can. We do everything we can when they open, but that doesn't guarantee that we get the best rooms. It's just simply how it works. But we do the best we can to make it work. And we just ask you all to work with us on that end. And I just wanted to make sure that's something that we kind of really go over here from that standpoint. I also have details up on the website about the financial assistance program. So basically, if you are seeking a scholarship of some sort or discounted pricing for your family reasons, the manual, or there is information online for the process that you would want to apply to try and get some discounted. The other thing that we can do if you have a need is we can extend your payment plan. So you can pay in full. We can extend them beyond the certain dates and stuff like that. But we just ask that you send us an email by October 12th to notify us, because we will not discount for any of our elite or national teams. So you can only compete on a regional team if you can't financially commit to the full amount from that standpoint. And there are a few things that are required from that standpoint. And again, you can find all of that information on the website. That would also include sibling discount. If you have multiple players playing in, you would want to send me the email at that point as well. And then the other thing that I will talk about here towards the end, we do have a newly formed 540 booster organization made up of, I think it's 6 different parents at this point, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about that. And they will be at tryouts and have their own table, but about a lot of different opportunities that they're going to have for all of the kids in 540 to fundraise some money better for this upcoming year as well. So again, stay tuned for them to talk here at the end. Next thing we've got for you is tournament schedules. Again, so they're on the website. They're all tentative on us being accepted and meeting the hotel requirements. Again, I know I can already, like the JVA Summerfest, I was on at midnight, believe it or not. These are some of the things that we do. I was on at midnight, registered for us for that event. There were still so many teams that registered that they start more locally, so to speak. So our elite teams did not get into that event. So we pivoted to another one. So again, we are doing everything we can in our efforts to make sure that we get into the events we want to get into. But again, there's a lot of different moving factors. We will notify you of any schedule changes at that standpoint. One of the other big, really exciting things that we can announce is that we are hosting tournaments this year at 540. We are super excited about that. We have 7 different weekends that we will be hosting events. I believe they're also partnering here with Mary Washington to make some of these events a little bit bigger, but trying to bring tournaments here to the Fredericksburg area, and it's through the ACE organization, Atlantic Coast Events. We've played in a lot of their ACPL events in the past and stuff like that, but we're bringing them in to run some tournaments, and we've made the commitment to register all of our teams, I think with the exception of our elite teams, depending on competition, in at least one additional tournament, meaning that we are saying they will play in 6 tournaments, but we will guarantee a 7th and put all of our teams in at no cost, which does cost us as a club, even though we are hosting the event, but we are going to add them. And we may look to add more teams to more events down the road as well, just as a simple thank you for playing and giving our kids more of an opportunity to compete here in Fredericksburg and stuff like that, and more chances to play other teams. So we are very excited about that. The other big thing to note this year, we alternate every year between AAUs and USAV nationals. So again, USA Volleyball Nationals versus AAU Nationals. AAU Nationals are hosted annually in Orlando, Florida in June. I actually think they're early July this year. And then USA Volleyball Nationals this year are in early July into mid-July, and then mid-June for our younger age group, so to speak. But we will accept all bids that we receive for USAV Nationals, regardless of level. So our elite and national teams that are competing for bids at the bid tournament, so to speak, if they receive a bid or are awarded a bid, they will go to USAV Nationals, not AAU Nationals. It's not an option. It is what nationals that they will go to. This year, 12s and 13s nationals are in Dallas, Texas, and 14s through 17s are in Las Vegas, Nevada, and our 18s nationals are in Baltimore, Maryland. So just so everyone is on the same page. And then along the same lines, we are extending our 12s and 13 elite seasons this year. We are going to send them to nationals to give them more of that competitive experience this year as well, based on some feedback we received from last year's 12s and 13s teams that they would have liked to have competed in nationals as well. Again, that is something you are aware of before accepting a spot on a team, is of what the tournament schedule is. Nice. I'm going to let Courtney talk a little bit about player memberships.
Alrighty, so there are 2 memberships that your child needs to compete in these tournaments. The first one being the one you're probably most familiar with, the USAV membership. Like I said earlier, we do require you have that number coming into tryouts. But like I said, there is a $10 option that's just tryout specific that you can get for tryouts. And then once you make a team and decide to play, you'll extend that to the full USAV membership. And that is needed to play in any USAV tournament. There's also an AAU membership that you need to play in AAU tournaments. If your child makes a team that is playing in AAU tournaments, you will get an email about how to get that number as well. So both of these will be needed if your child is playing on a team that competes in those tournaments.
Okay, I'm back to talk about the grievance policy. I want to express that everything we should try to do, we should try to encourage your daughters or sons to talk to the coach first if they have concerns about playing time, anything with team dynamic. We encourage your daughter/son to meet with the coach first. If at that point, when we're dealing with those kind of things, you feel like that's not, we're still haven't got a resolution, the next step would be parent, player, and coach. I'm going to stress this, and every year we still have people who don't want to. They want to send us an email and they want to say, I don't want my kid to know. However, I want to talk about her playing time. If we're going to have discussions about playing time, the player is going to be involved, because sometimes we've learned last year that the message that was getting to the player was not getting to the parent. So again, we stress that your child talks to the coach, and then again, if it need be, it goes to player, parent, coach. And if in that stage, if I need to get involved, or Courtney, then we'll meet again there. There are some things that you might need to just come to me for. If you feel something has stepped over the line as far as something that's happened with our coaches, then that email will come directly to me. I'm your direct contact for that, and you're going to come to me. If it's something that I say we need to go to the coach, then I'll guide you there. If I need to get Alex involved, then I'll get Alex involved. So let's please refrain from going to Alex, because he's just going to give it back to me. So, so again, if we need to make it a bigger thing, we will inform Alex if we need to, and let him know if he needs to be involved also. But just stick to that policy. I'm going to ask if I get an email, has this been discussed with the coach first? So we're hoping that we don't have many of these, and everybody has a great season. We don't have to worry about that. As you know, there's an open gym going on right now. There's a couple more before tryouts. So if you didn't know about tonight, there's a couple more open gyms. I think they're on the 1st and the 8th. Is there open gyms? I think the 1st and the 8th, we have 2 more open gyms. Yeah. And then, so you can go and sign up for those in league apps. If you've signed up, those are free for everybody who has already signed up for tryouts. Our season start dates and practice schedule. We will start season the week after Thanksgiving. Practice schedules are still being drawn up. We have a tentative schedule, but we want to make sure it works well with all of our coaches. For teams that are going to play through July, we will have some built-in breaks in the season because it's such of a long season. But we're gonna give those up front so that everybody knows when we have those breaks, so if they want to plan anything. All right, and then we're gonna go on to Alex. Are you gonna introduce the booster?
Yeah, so we are gonna have our I think is it Courtney, are you on here? Courtney Harris is our president of our booster organization, I believe. If she's on here, well, she can't. Give me 1 sec. I muted everyone. You should be able to unmute yourself now.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Did you want me, Alex?
Yep, you're up.
Okay, there's 2 Courtney H's. So hi everyone. I apologize. My camera is not working. My name is Courtney Harris, and we're really, really excited that 540 will now have a booster club. We have a founding board. So I'm just going to kind of give their names. My name is Courtney Harris. I'm the president. Lucretia Kuma is the vice president. Brenda Wells is the treasurer. Melanie Morin will be the secretary. Chantel Ramsey is the vice president of events. Lisa Horn is the vice president of fundraising, and Shamel Brevard is the vice president of community outreach. So I know that I don't have a lot of time to talk tonight, but I do want to give you a brief. We are going to have a meeting, our first membership meeting at the end of October. It will be a family membership and it's $50 to join. We will have a table at tryouts, and you'll be able to sign up right then. We are going to be offering lots of fundraisers. There will be opportunities to raise money, like Alex mentioned. They're going to be great fundraisers. We are in the process of applying for our 501c3. And what that means to you all is you can seek sponsorships. So once we've submitted our application, which hopefully that will be done the next 2 weeks, we will actually get a sponsorship letter out. So you can seek sponsorships from businesses, and that will also help offset that cost. We are setting up something, it's called Membership Toolkit, and we'll get that information out. And that's where you'll actually be able to track how much you've fundraised, what your balance is. You'll transfer it. So the way that would work is if you've earned money and you want to transfer it over to pay your tuition, you can do that. You can keep it there for travel expenses. That's really up to you. But we are going to have a lot of fundraising opportunities, and we are going to host some events. Waters Ice will be here at tryout days. We haven't confirmed all of the dates, but they will be here. So you can grab an icy, they're really yummy. We are going to offer apparel. So we will get that up and running soon. We are going to raffle off some fun stuff at tryouts. Each athlete will get a raffle ticket. And so we'll be raffling off some apparel. I'm talking to Alex about some private lessons and that type of thing to raffle off. We do have an email address. Alex, I don't know if you want to pop it in the chat. I don't know if I can. I don't know how you have it set up. But if you have any specific questions between now and October, the email is 540boostersclub@gmail.com. And I'm happy to, that comes directly to me. I am happy to answer any questions you have. We will, like I said, have our first membership meeting at the end of October. We'll put that out. We do have a Facebook page. It's new, but it is 540 Volleyball Booster Club. You can go like it. We will be communicating through that a lot. We'll also work with Alex to get communication out about fundraisers. It is a large process, so bear with us as we are all learning. And I have started booster clubs before, but volleyball is just a tad different than other things I've done. So we're maneuvering that. But if you have any questions, please let me know. We will get everyone's names and emails up on the Facebook page for now, so you can reach out. And we're really looking forward to this opportunity for everybody.
Thank you, Courtney. We'll definitely, like I said, we'll have make sure that they communicate out all of the information as they kind of get it and everything too. One of the other big things, we will be partnering with Team Snap this year, which is a communication platform that all of our teams will be able to communicate through directly. And the easiest way that we can communicate to you all better and more efficiently, as well as monitor the communication from our coaches to the teams, as well as monitor the inner dialogue between the parent groups on our team. So if you're not familiar with Team Snap, it is an app. You can also do it online. It is absolutely great. And we will have more information out to everyone as we get that all set up from that standpoint. Awesome. So at this point, we are going to open it for a little bit of a Q&A here. I am going to start to answer the questions that have come up in the chat and everything here and go through. And I will ask Courtney and Nicole to kind of hop on here as needed to answer some of these questions. But again, if you do have questions at the end, you can always just shoot us an email, hello@540volleyballacademy.com. You can send an email to that and we will make sure that we get it answered for you from that standpoint. One of the first questions, or one of the common questions we're getting here, is just about our uniform package for this year. Nicole/Courtney, do you guys want to talk a little bit about that? But we are reusing the uniforms from last year, which is why we asked you to submit your first choice, second choice, third choice uniform numbers when registering for tryouts. That will help us a little bit better from that standpoint. But do one of you want to talk a little bit about the equipment?
Yeah, so the only thing I'll add to that is that if we have double numbers make a team, whoever just was on that level team last year would keep their number, and then whoever was new to that team would either switch a jersey if we can make that happen, or have to get a new jersey. But yes, you'll keep your same jersey from year to year.
Great question. There will also only be probably a few required pieces for returning players that they will need to purchase. I think there some discussion about maybe adding a pink jersey for some of our teams. So I think they're still trying to finalize the package, but it shouldn't be everything that it was the year prior. The next question we have is, if you played last year, do you still need to provide the birth certificates? Yes, we always need copies, unfortunately. So again, we just need 2 copies again to have on file. And just so you're aware, these birth certificates, our coaches have to carry the medical form as well as the birth certificate with them to each tournament in case there is ever a question from that. Next question we have is, what is our mailing address? I will say it, but it is also in the Juniors Travel Handbook, as well as on our website in the top and bottom corners. It is 1127 International Parkway, Suite 141, Fredericksburg, Virginia, 22406. Next one, questions about sibling discount. Again, refer to the financial assistance program for sibling discounts. I'm hearing a lot about neurofuel questions. Are we providing brain supplements as part of the increased fee? If you scroll down to the 3rd thing when you search Google, you will see neurofuel mental training. It is a tool used by the USA Volleyball national team. It is to help with mental health within volleyball and to help better prepare players for the mental side of volleyball. We utilize it here at Mary Washington. It's a complete game changer, allows all of the players the opportunity to listen to volleyball specific mental health programming and stuff like that. So again, that is what neurofuel is. It is not a brain supplement. What days are practices and games held? Again, all of the schedules are online. When will the 14 teams have a coach confirmed? I'm pretty positive most of our teams are confirmed. If you see a to be announced or a TBD on the website, we have coaches lined up. We are just waiting until we need to move some coaches around, so to speak, to help finalize the thing. But we do have coaches lined up for every single team at the current moment. And then along the same lines, we have another question. Will we notify everyone prior to accepting their teams who the coaches are? We will do the best we can. The only thing we can't confirm is with the local teams, most likely who their coaches are from that standpoint. But again, you will see probably a lot of our elite and national level coaches helping out with our local teams. So it will just fluctuate weekly, so to speak, who will be there, but they will all communicate together on what they are working on. And then we will have dedicated coaches for each team for tournaments. Yes, this is a good one. This is totally my fault on the to accept the offer within 24 hours or 48 hours. It is 48 hours. I typed in our notes here that it's 24 hours, but it is what it says online. It is 48 hours. You have 48 hours to accept or decline the offer. Question about direct debit. You can set it up in league apps if you want it to be direct debited from your account, but you don't have to. Another question along the lines for payments is, will there be a drop box at the club to drop checks off in? It is located right by our admin office. We leave envelopes there with a pen. Just make sure you put your name and your child's name on the envelope. It helps me when I'm processing the checks. The other big thing to note is that I don't process the checks every day. So if you drop your check off around the 1st of the month and you don't see it in your account yet, and you're getting an email notifying you that you haven't made payment, it is likely that I just have not processed the check yet. Again, I typically wait until I have a large grouping of them rather than just doing them individually every single day. So just so you are aware from that standpoint. Next question we have is in regards to the state of play. Is there a way we can block off certain rooms for certain teams? Like for events, so to speak, rather than just sending them out to the whole club? It is up to each tournament on how they handle their housing. That's the simplest, easiest way to put it. So unfortunately, the answer a lot of times is basically if all of our teams are competing in one location on one weekend, they will treat us as one group. They will not let us individually book per each team. So again, it is just up to how each tournament handles it. You probably don't realize this, but there's like 6 different ways that these tournaments can run their tournaments through registration options and stuff like that, which means there's 6 different ways that we have to monitor and track hotels, which again is back to the larger point of why the state of play policy, we just need to make it a little bit easier on our staff. how many players will be on the team, and is it everyone plays or only the best player plays? Depends what level on the amount of playing time. It's defined in our juniors travel handbook. We are not guaranteeing playing time on our elite teams. Every other team, we do guarantee at least some playing time. If that's something that's super important to you and your family, just make sure that you notify our staff that you do not want to be considered for a team that playing time isn't guaranteed, so to speak. Again, we are under the belief that everyone knows what team they are agreeing to play on at the start of each season. And then along the same line, the team sizes, it just depends. It varies. Again, we try to keep our teams between 10 to 12 players, just depending on the coaches and what they want. I know Nicole and I are big advocates for 12 players. It's better for training, which in our eyes is what you are typically paying for, is the training aspect of juniors travel volleyball. You might think it's the tournaments, but the players are actually getting better in the training gym, and it's easier to play 6-on-6 when you have 12 players. When you have 10, it makes it a little bit more difficult. Sometimes when players don't show up to, it makes it a little bit more difficult in training. So typically we leave it up to the coaches on the number of players that they want on each team. The practice schedule, like Nicole said, will be up online here. And if they decide to pay in full and get the 5% discount for the season fees, and then we decide to fundraise, would we be reimbursed? Yes, you would be reimbursed. I also believe, and Courtney, you might want to be able to answer this question, Courtney Harris, but I believe they should be able to apply funds towards your travel expenses too.
Correct. You absolutely can. So you can choose to have it transferred to pay your tuition. If you pay your tuition in full and you fundraise, you can actually submit your receipt and we can reimburse you. So you would just submit your receipt when you had fundraising funds, or you can hold on to it and help pay for travel. It's actually for anything volleyball related: knee pads, shoes, uniform, travel, t-shirts, anything that you buy for volleyball, you can actually get reimbursed for.
Which is great. Thank you. Another question I have, are there going to be 4+ teams per age bracket? It just depends on the age level, what we're anticipating. But again, you should be able to see, I think it's on our website, what we're anticipating. But will have up to 5 teams at some of the age levels. And if we have local teams, we'll probably have 6 or 7. I know for a fact right now we're over 80 signups already for our 16U age group. So again, that's just an anticipation there. I think 15Us, again, which are where we typically see larger numbers, so to speak, we'll offer as many teams as we have to offer every player a team. Will practice days and times be available before tryouts? I do believe that Nicole and Courtney plan on having that information online before tryouts. So before you accept, you will know. USAV and AAU numbers, are they 2 different numbers? Yes, they are. You only need the USAV number unless we tell you that an AAU number is required, and we will communicate to those teams specifically. We don't want you to have an added cost that you do not have to pay if you do not need it. Another question is, it says that the dues will be going up to allow for less players on the upper level teams. Is that accurate? Again, that is up to the coaches on those higher level teams, but we have given them the flexibility to keep less players. That is accurate. Someone saying we have a vacation set for Christmas school break. Will there be a tournament at that time? Tournaments don't start until January. We typically give the week off for Christmas. I think Christmas is on a Monday this year. So that whole week we will probably be off. Not probably, we will be off. And again, a lot of coaches might alter their training schedules around that time as well. The financial form, a lot of the forms, again, they're all on the website. So it's a lot of the same questions that we're getting popping up in here and everything too, and hopefully answered. But again, we will leave it here at this point. But if you do have more questions, you can shoot us an email and we will certainly get it answered. But again, like I said, a lot of the information you are looking for is on the website. And we do appreciate everyone being on here on the Zoom with us here today. But again, if you do have questions, the easiest thing to do is just reach out. We will get them answered. One other final piece, the easiest way to get a hold of us, because again, we are part-time employees, is to email us. If you call the main line, a lot of times we aren't going to be able to answer because we're in the middle of our workday, so to speak. But if you shoot us an email, we can get back to you and communicate to you a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. Thank you all again. We're looking forward to a great 2024 travel season, and we're looking forward to seeing everyone at tryouts. Thank you.